Hi everyone, it's Tim from Auto Van Can, and today we're going to put in some struts in the dad van project. Right. Let's start by taking off these wiper blades. These nuts shouldn't be very tight, but you may need a puller if you haven't had these wiper arms off. Then see, it doesn't take much effort to undo them. Are they going to come off? No. Okay, let's get a puller. That's the wiper arm puller I'm using. Battery post puller. It's adjustable for clamping. So I usually stick a nut back on. It's starting to rain now. There we go, there's one. Get my ratchet again. I'm just putting the nut back on, but not all the way down. Just enough. So, because otherwise they do have a cup on these, but saves damaging the threads. So you tighten it with the little plastic collar. There we go. There's one arm. There's the second arm. Okay, I'll just get rid of these. Next, I'm going to remove these little push pins. I have a little threaded screw in them. How many we've got? There's one more on the other side. Now you won't need to use a screwdriver to put them back in, because you can just push them all the way in and they secure themselves. And this is so we can gain access to the upper struts. Go. That way we have access to the upper struts, and if you're replacing your wiper motor assembly, then it's all right under there. Okay, let's move on. To remove the wheel. There we go. See what sizes these are. Okay, so then we're going to disconnect the ABS wire. It's always handy to use impact guns because they break free the corrosion. There we go. That way we don't want this wire to get damaged. Next I'm going to remove the stab link. I'm going to use a pair of vice grips to hold the inside of the stab link. There we go. Stab link out the way. Next you want to undo it from the wheel bearing housing. Be mindful, some vehicles have a camber adjustment here. These things haven't been out in a long time. They're original. So an impact gun's very handy. To break free the corrosion. I'm just trying to walk out. May not happen. So you stick the end of the nut on the end of the bolt there, just so it reaches the tip. I'm just going to go grab a sledge. See these bolts? They're now coming out. So now to walk out the rest of the bolt, stick your pry bar in there, stick your wrench, sorry, and you can turn it out just like that. But before hammering on any bolt, make sure you put the nut back on the end of the bolt. Go grab a pry bar. This bottom bolt's being a bit more persistent, so I'm just trying to sneak a pry bar in there. There we go. Ah. That strut is now free. Okay, so now we're going to undo the upper strut mount. These are all 13 mils. Just going to leave two kind of things tight. There we go, see it's dropped down. Now you've got to reach underneath with your other hand to catch the strut. Make sure you don't damage their boot, the axle boot. And then you've got to lift it out from underneath, which I'll now illustrate. So, as I explained from the top, this is a weird angle for me because I'm trying to make sure it's still viewable for you. Undo that last remaining nut, and out comes the strut. There we go. Happy days. Alright, so now we have to get these nuts on top of the new replacement spring strut. So you've got to allocate this into the body, put this into the 3 holes whilst holding it, and then use the other hand to put on a couple of these nuts. Now that we got the old strut out, we're going to put the new strut in. Make sure these are sided, so make sure that you get the right one on the correct side of the vehicle. Now I'm going to hold it, put this up into the body, and then reach around the top and screw the nut on. There we go, we've got the new nuts here. These are lock nuts. This is a pretty powerful gun. I always recommend talking stuff to spec, unless you're an experienced mechanic. There's certain items you can get away with. There we go. Okay, so now the top of the strut has been installed. Now we want to reassemble the bottom of the strut. Which could be quite a wriggle. Now, the new struts are camber adjustable. And they're just done through tension. We're just going to get everything lined up. There we go. And now for the bottom one. Now I'm just going to go off the body marks to set my camber on these, because the manufacturer ones don't have camber adjustment. You can see the line on the strut on the wheel bearing housing where it was previously installed. So that's where I'm going to install this strut today. And I can only do total toe alignments at the moment. That helps if I grab the right nuts. This is where you need, be handy if you had a third set of hands. Careful with this ABS wire. Last thing you want is a ABS code. There we go. The ABS wire plumbed in. Oh, this is very tight to turn. The reason why I'm changing these struts is the upper strut bearing on the other side was seizing. So it's making the steering very difficult to turn. And then I have new stab link to go in as well. In Europe, where I'm from, they're called drop links because they drop down from the suspension to the anti-roll bar, and then over in North America we call them, well, in Canada, stabilizer links, stab links for short. Right, just do the bottom screw. Just grab a wrench and check that. Make sure it's good and tight. Oh yeah. Even says right there on the strut, left. Can't go wrong. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing as the other side. I'm not going to do as much explaining. We're going to rip through this other strut. And you can hopefully see in real time how long it does take to replace a quick strut. On my dad van project. It is lightly raining today. Not enough for wet weather gear. This is the strut that's got the seized bearing. I need an extension. I forgot to clip that back in on the other side. Okay, now let's undo the stab link. Hopefully this one's just as easy to undo. Sorry you're not getting a very good view. Try my best as I can. To get you a good angle. one's a bit tight. The universal joint and impacts robs a lot of power, plus I'm using a chromey socket. I should really get my other vice grips. I have a nice new set, because the teeth on these vice grips, I've seen 7 years of doing this kind of stuff. Because you keep slipping. Now, if it was a really rusty car, I'd probably, come on. There we go. If it was a really rusty car, you can just cut them off if you're replacing them. Cut the arm and then yank off this ball socket. It's raining today. And I haven't got my wet weather gear on. So I'm getting wet as well as my camera. Same again on the bottom of this one. Ooh, excuse me. Around the ABS wire. That should be enough to get a wrench in. You can sometimes use the end of the wrench as a hook. Not in today's episode of work. There we go. There we go. Now I'll go undo the upper strut. The upper strut nuts. There we go, strut out. Okay. Got my new nuts. I lost one of the old nuts somewhere. It's in the depths of the vehicle now. So I got my nuts. Now I'm going to install the strut. I get it in the right. What's going on here? Why won't you go through the hole? Oh, there we go. There's the strut mounted in. Gosh, I wish the rain would let up though. I wish the rain would let up. That's a good day to be working on the dad van, I suppose. Not really, because it's raining. Make sure these are all lined up adequately. There we go. Good and tight. Oh, I'm wet. It's 3:20. Perfect. I started this close to 4 and I'm filming, so that usually takes a little longer too. Just put this back in, and it's raining too. So I'm just trying to keep this as brief as possible. I still got the rear struts to do. Put this ABS wire back so I don't forget. Now it's time for the stab link. Hopefully my microphone isn't getting destroyed in the wet. Like my rubber gloves are. These rubber gloves, they're biodegradable, which is what I like about them. But they rip super easy. In the winter time, they don't rip at all because it's cold. The rubber's harder. Oh, damn it. I had my gun turning the wrong way. Force of habit. Perfect. There your quick struts. All in. Right, so if you enjoyed this video of me installing front spring struts, these quick struts, on the dad van project, I'd greatly appreciate if you smash that like button, you comment, and you subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate all what you guys do for the channel. I'm going to sign off now and put the wheels back on this vehicle and get the cowl cover and the wiper blades back on. It is raining, so I don't want to destroy my microphone, even though it's even though my phone's waterproof. I have a separate mic on top, so I'd rather not get that destroyed. So I greatly appreciate you guys watching, and have a great one, guys. Ciao for now.